Well, gold made some strong gains this past week, and I think many wondering if this is a start to another upward trend. I'll answer that question for you and also teach you a little bit about how these parabolic upward trends resolve after they have been broken. So, as I said, gold had a really significant rise starting early in 2024, but for most of 2026, it has been moving lower. Now, it made a bottoming signal this week, a fairly aggressive one, because it has broken the downward trend, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Does this indicate the start of another major price rise? Well, this pattern is actually fairly common, and I will show you how it works. Let's dive into the weekly chart of gold, and you can see that we had the breakout back there early in 2024. Uptrends tend to start slowly, so you have this slow gradual run, but uptrends also tend to end quickly. What I mean by that is as the trend progresses, it gets steeper and steeper until it becomes a parabolic curve. And when you hit a new high in a parabolic curve and close below the open, as this weekly chart shows, it's usually the sign of a top. And 4 or 5 weeks later, we did in fact roll over from a falling top. That's another signal that there is a top in. And we've been in that downward trend since early March, late February of 2026. Now you can see here this week we broke that downward trend. Now let me explain how this pattern typically works. Anytime you get a sideways move and then an upward trend and it goes parabolic, it's very common for price to pull back to the linear trend line. And that's what we've seen here. We didn't quite get down to it, but pretty close. The problem is once the market has gone parabolic, it's rare that it goes to another new high. It's not impossible, but it's not likely. Typically what happens is you rise up a little bit, make a falling top, and then threaten to break that linear upward trend line. So if you are a trader, relatively short term, I think there's an opportunity here in gold and gold stocks because it does look like it will go up over the next few weeks. But if you're a longer term investor, the probability that it is going to break to new highs in the weeks and months ahead is relatively low. I would say maybe 30-35%. More than likely, we build a falling top or rise up to that old highs, those resistance levels from the March 2026 highs, get stuck and go sideways. So if we go back to this chart here, you can see that this would be the old highs, and there's a good chance we can rise up to this, get stuck, and then just go sideways in a pattern like this, which builds a foundation potentially for the next leg up. If instead we come up, we make a falling top and then break that linear trend line, this one right here, well then the party in gold is over. So those are the scenarios you want to watch for. Again, because this is a weekly chart, we could get 4 to 8 weeks of an upward move here, and that's really good for a trader, but for a longer term investor, that's not really the ideal scenario. All right, well, let's get into this week's analysis of the markets because some really important things happened this past week, and we saw a lot of stocks starting to make gains again. You know, in the last little while, the really only great opportunities were relatively short-term oriented, but the longer-term stuff was having trouble gathering momentum. Well, this week that changed. We saw the S&P 500 break out to new highs. So we're going to jump into the Stockscores website and pull up SPY as our first chart here. And what you can see is that this week we have broken to new highs. So here is the little resistance level there. We broke out early this week, and that has the stock scores in a good spot there. Back above 60, they were dipping close to 50 as we sort of went sideways there for the last couple of months. So that's a positive sign for this market. And if you look at the 1 month short-term time frame, you see that that sort of sideways boring market that we had is over and we're back into an upward trend. So bullish there on the S&P. Now the Nasdaq has suffered more than the S&P because there was some profit taking in some of those semiconductor stocks and some of the AI stocks as there was an unwinding of a big hedge fund, and that caused this relatively sharp sell-off. Well, we've broken that sell-off. We've started to come back, but we're still below resistance. So the tech stocks don't look as good as the large cap stocks, and you can see that the stock scores are much lower down below that 50 level. That's just kind of a neutral rating. We like it to be above 60. You can see when the market was really running here, we crossed above 60 relatively early and stayed above 60 while that was rising upward. Well, since that point there, we've sort of been moving lower on the price and also on the stock scores. All right, let's move along to the small cap market, which has lagged the large caps and it continues to do so. It's right at resistance. So we expect when prices rise into resistance, these old price levels here, these price highs, we get stuck there. And we came up, we got stuck for a couple of days, and then Friday started to test that again. I think eventually we're going to break out through this level, and that's encouraging because that'll make it much easier to trade over the longer term. You know, it's much easier to be on the long side when the market's trending up than it has been through the month of July when the market was trending down. All right, moving along, let's take a look at the Canadian market. T.XIU is the symbol, and we have a nice upward trend there. The buyers are in control of the Canadian market, continues to be strong. Gold, let's go back to the gold chart because this is the daily chart. You can see that this downward trend that has been in place since essentially February when the upward trend was broken has now been broken. And one of the things I want to highlight here is this pattern called a falling wedge. So a falling wedge has tops that are falling quicker than the bottoms are falling. And that's a sign that the momentum is slowing. And when you get a break of the falling wedge, the top line of the falling wedge, that's usually the start of a reversal. Now, as I said, I don't expect this is going to go straight up. It'll probably second guess it, come back, but slowly start to build some momentum. The question is, can it ultimately break through these highs? It's not likely. It has a probability, like I said, maybe 30%. But I do think in the short term as a trader, if you want to be trading these stocks, because the trend in the short term has switched from sideways to now upward, there's opportunities to be, day and swing trading the gold stocks and the mining stocks. All right, moving along, let's take a look at oil. Oil's had lots of volatility because of the conflict in the Middle East with Iran. And so you get a price jump when there's issues over there, and then it sort of pulls back, as Trump has been saying, a deal is imminent, that sort of thing. We've heard him say that more than once, and you build up in anticipation of worse oil prices, and then you get some peace talks, and that pulls it back, and then violence breaks out again, and you rise, and then you get some more peace proclamations, and you start to move down. What's important, though, is that we didn't make a new high here. So the fact that we've made that falling top indicates we're more than likely to do this eventually, but it's far from a certainty at this point. So the basic constant in the oil market is that it's volatile and fairly difficult to trade because it's quite uncertain. All right, let's take a look now at currencies. The US dollar has slid down quite significantly the last little bit here. You can see that downward move, and that breaks this very short-term upward trend. The longer-term upward trend is still intact, but we could break down through that, which would be bearish for the US dollar. We could also hold that line and move back up toward the high. So we're at a really critical point here. What you want to watch is, does the US dollar break down through that support level, or does it rise up to this resistance level and get stuck? So short term, if I look at that very short term chart, the 1 month, you can see the very sharp decline. That's on the Fed announcement, and then we've moved down since then. All right, moving along, let's take a look at Bitcoin, GBTC. It's stable, but it's still not good. If we look at the 3-year chart of Bitcoin, you can see that the trend is still down, but the plus side is the downward momentum is slowing. We got a little bit of that falling wedge pattern again. What we need to see is it break that downward trend line. That hasn't happened yet, but certainly it's possible. I'm by no means bullish on Bitcoin yet, but it does start to look a little better in the last few weeks. Finally, let's take a look at the bond market, TLT. And this is one thing that perhaps weighs on those small cap stocks and why they are lagging the large caps. You can see the bond market has been below 60 for this entire chart. Why? Because the trend is down. And we broke through some support. We're still in this downward trend. So the bond market moving down means interest rates in the US remain elevated. And that's a bit of a negative for the stock market overall, particularly the small cap stocks, which are more interest rate sensitive. So there's my ratings, bullish on both time frames for US large cap, NASDAQ and US small cap, neutral short term, bullish long term, Canadian bullish on both time frames, gold short term bullish, which is an upgrade, but still long term neutral, oil neutral, US dollar now bearish in the short term and long term neutral, Bitcoin short term neutral, but still long term bearish. and bonds bearish on both time frames. All right, so now I want to take a look at the trade of the week. Every week we have a service at my website, stockscores.com, called Active Live, where we monitor the market in real time through the entire trading day using algorithms to identify stocks that are making abnormal price moves. The idea being that where there is abnormal activity, abnormal price gain with abnormal volume, there is often opportunity. And my trading strategies all kind of revolve around that concept. When there's something significant happening fundamentally, the buyers come in aggressively, they create that abnormal activity, they create the abnormal price gain with abnormal volume. And all that I do as a trader is look for that using a computer to scan the entire market in real time. And we're looking for something that I call an action candle. And I typically look at that on a 1 minute interval. So if we look at this chart of AMIX from last week, these little yellow and orange dots with the pink centers, those are my action candles. The yellow ones is an abnormal price gain. It doesn't necessarily have abnormal volume. But what we like to see is either the initial break right there, which I bought last week right there, or we wait for the stock to build a good pattern once it has been abnormal, and then look for a breakup from that pattern. So AMIX broke out from that ascending triangle pattern around 11:30 or so, and then went for a very nice run where it more than doubled. And this is the idea here, is that these stocks can make phenomenal gains because the abnormal activity attracts buyers who come in aggressively, and it's totally irrational. A lot of the time the stock can go from $8 to $20 in a couple of hours, sometimes even better. And it's that crowd mentality of chasing the stock, of euphoria, the fear of missing out. If you can get in early on those things, you can beat the crowd and then sell to the crowd when they chase the stock to parabolic levels. And that's one of my strategies. I call it a first wave or a superhero, two different strategies I trade. You can learn more about that at stockscores.com. If you have enjoyed this video, do me a favor and click on the like button. You can subscribe to my weekly email newsletter at stockscores.com from the homepage. If you've enjoyed this video, do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe, and as always, trade well.